Hey everyone! So, I decided to make a video with Phase 2 coming out soon, talking about the different specs that I use. One question that I get quite often in my stream is, what spec are you? I don't have a command for my talents or my spec because I'm constantly changing them depending on what I'm doing. But I've basically, since hitting level 60, had 4 consistent specs that I use. 4 consistent specs, okay? And we're gonna go over them. I'll show you them right here. I'm gonna go over all of them and explain why I use them and when I use them, okay? The first one is a Frost Arcane build for AoE and PvP. The second is a Frost Arcane build for purely PvP. The third, a Frost Fire build for PvP. And lastly, an Arcane Frost build for raiding, okay? Now, before I show you these, I want you to keep in mind, depending on your hit rating from gear, you might make small adjustments to the build, and I'll try to show you where you can take talents out and put hit in if you need it, okay? The first build, my Frost Arcane build for PvP and AoE. The reason why I made this build is because I wanted basically an all-around build where I could still go an AoE grind, while at the same time, if I wanted to go duel or engage in world PvP, this is the build that I use, okay? So I'm gonna show you it. It's a 17 Arcane, 0 Fire, 34 Frost, okay? Now, I don't have Frostbite because it's not good for AoE grinding. I've picked up Blizzard for AoE grinding, and other than that, the spec is very, very, standard. I've got my improved counter spell. Because I'm AoE grinding, I don't really need elemental precision. I'm farming ZF or BRD, where all the mobs are lower level than me, so I don't need elemental precision. But if you want to get elemental precision, because you're doing a dungeon, well, you don't really need it. But if you want to get hit capped, what I would do is I would drop a point in frost channeling and put it in elemental precision, okay? So that's what I would do. This is the first all-around build, and I say this is the talent build that I play the most, okay? Next up, we have a pure Arcane Frost build, okay? So this is the build. 17, 0, 34. All right, same arcane talents. I like to play with magic absorption. I like to play with arcane concentration, and I like improved counterspell. This is my PvP Frost build. I pick up 1 in elemental precision, and that's because I only wear gear that has 1 hit. So 1 hit plus the 2 hit from elemental precision gets me hit capped. And I also get hit capped in arcane via arcane focus. And then the rest of the talents are pretty straightforward. There are some mages that like to drop frost channeling for piercing ice. Don't trust those mages. They don't know what they're talking about. Frost channeling is OP, okay? 17-0-34. Here it is. The next one. This is another PvP build that I played. And this is very similar to the build that I played in the duel tournament, okay? It's an Arcane Fire Frost, the Ignite Barrier build. Now this is a really fun build because you get all the benefits of being a Frost Mage, Ice Barrier, Shatter, big Frostbolt, big snares, big Cone of Colds, all the goodies, while also at the same time picking up some really interesting and fun fire talents: Ignite, Impact, Improved Scorch, Pyroblast, Burning Soul, and Incinerate. Now, the benefits of the fire build are you have really, so if you Nova someone and you Fire Blast them, or you Nova someone and you Scorch Fire Blast them, it's a ton of damage. Not only is it going to make your fire spells crit, but you'll also, when they do crit, get the benefit of having Ignite, and you also have Impact Stun on your Scorch, your Fire Blast, which is really good, and then when you need to against certain classes as well, you have the anti-pushback through Burning Soul, which is very valuable. So you can cast Scorch with not getting pushback, or there's a very high likelihood you won't get pushback. I personally really, really like this build. There's one problem with this build. Well, it's not really a problem, but something you have to keep in mind is if you don't have hit, you do have to sacrifice certain talents. Some of those talents might mean, like, if you really don't have any hit on your gear, you only have 1% hit on your gear, what I find myself doing is I'll actually go 1 in Elemental Precision, drop in Frostbolt, and pick up 1 in Arcane Focus. So you have to drop 1 in Arcane Subtlety, which is unfortunate, but this is the build I like to play. And if you want to completely, if you are hit capped, you can also drop points here and put it in flame throwing if you really, really want to. Totally up to you. But yeah, This is a build that I like a lot. You can shuffle around some points, but this is basically the base build. And I really like picking up Arcane Subtlety because there's basically no spell penetration in the game, so it's super helpful to get that little bit of extra spell penetration. All right, so that's the Ignite Barrier spec. And last but not least, the rating spec. Now this is a very standard rating specialization. This is what I spec when, you know, I'm trying to progress in raids, when I'm doing Molten Core, and I want to do really, really big single target frost damage. Okay, so you can check that out. You basically just spam Frostbolt with this build. Super straightforward, really easy. Those are the 4 specs that I play. Those are the 4 situations that I use them. And now you guys know, all right? Now you guys know. The secret's out. Cat's out of the bag. Have some fun. Sounds good.